It's Almighty Dan, and I know y'all watching this video because y'all won't end. So be sure to like this video and welcome. Welcome to the channel if you new, man. Today, I'm going to let y'all know what's up with this tendency glitch or this Demigod tendency glitch that's going around. Now, fortunately for me and fortunately for y'all, I have a my player with extremely high glitchy tendencies. Now, the only reason my tendencies are so high and glitchy is because I turned them up when the Demigod glitch was working late last year. So I have like 100 dunk tendencies, shooting tendencies are set to 100. And if you don't know what a tendency is, it's pretty much the likelihood that your player will attempt a certain move. Now, the tricky thing is with tendencies on here is even if you have 100 dunk tendency, driving dunk tendency, 100 flashy dunk tendency, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen 100% of the time because you also have a lot of other tendencies that play a factor as well. Nor do we actually know how the tendencies are programmed to work. For example, you may have 100 dunk tendency, driving dunk tendency, but if you have a 50 layup tendency, is your dunk tendency still going to necessarily be at 100%? Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? That's going to decrease the likelihood of you hitting a driving dunk if you have layup tendency. Now, if you have pretty much 0 everything and 100 dunk tendency, ideally you should be able to dunk the ball every time when you drive to the basket and attempt to dunk. When I say 0 everything, I mean 0 everything that reflects dunking. But that also depends on your dunk rating, your drive dunk rating, and your badges. So keep that in mind as well. So even though you may have a high tendency to do something, if your player doesn't have the ability to do it, then he really can't even attempt the move to begin with. Now, a lot of tendencies on here don't really matter because the game is in your control and you control what type of shots you take. But a lot of them do, and we'll get into those. For example, your player might have a high tendency to shoot a lot of threes, but if you can control how many threes you shoot, but you can't necessarily control when your player is going to go for a dunk. And those are the type of tendencies that you would want to improve. Now, I checked out some of these videos to see if actually doing the tendency glitch was worthwhile. And I actually tested it on a NBA player just so y'all can see if it's worthwhile. Do y'all think y'all want to attempt it? Because I have not done it the way that they have done it. But what I can tell y'all, it does require you to delete your my player and then contact 2K support for them to copy your my player back over, which they can do, which I have done that before. I have had to contact 2K support to get my player back, and it doesn't take long. You can do it in a day or whatever. I've actually had them do it for me twice in one day since one of my files were corrupt. But at that point, it's really the point if do you think it's really going to benefit you and your playing style enough. So what I'm going to show y'all right now is I'm going to go to Ja Morant. I'm going to cut his dunk up to about 95. I'm going to cut all his driving dunk tendencies up to 100, and I'm going to give him some badges, you know what I'm saying? Some Hall of Fame contact finishing badges, just so y'all can evaluate y'allself if y'all think it's worthwhile. Now, me personally, I don't think it'll make just that much of a difference, especially if you're already, depending on your build, right? If you don't have a very high dunk, there's no point of you putting up your dunk tendencies. I mean, I have 100 dunk tendency on my player right now. Y'all seen it at the beginning of the video. My attribute for dunking is like a high 70s. And he does not dunk 100% of the time when he drives to the basket. Now, he does dunk often. Don't get me wrong. He does dunk often when I have a good lane to the basket. So, honestly, that might be a factor. But I've had it like that for so long. You know, I've just gotten used to it. Like, even if it doesn't make a big impact. But I'm going to show y'all right now. Like I said, we on Ja Morant. If y'all think it's going to be worth it. If you have a slashing type of a build, it could be useful, you know what I'm saying? But you already dunked the ball a lot anyways as a slasher. If you think it's going to boost you up that much more, I mean, I guess you could try it if you want to. But I'm going to just keep it a stack with you. I'm going to keep it honest. I don't think it's going to make just that much more of a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not saying it's not going to improve your player, right? Put it this way. It might be like give you a few more attribute points in a sense. Or slightly increasing your percentage to do dunks. Because keep in mind that when the Demigod glitch was out and people were upgrading their tendencies, a lot of people already had tendencies. A lot of people still have very, very high tendencies from that glitch on their players. So I still haven't came across nobody that was just dunking every single time unstoppably. Now, that's how I would envision it being the best way it could be is if it was completely unstoppable. But it already seems as if slashers are already kind of overpowered in a sense already. Not really overpowered, but their dunking ability is already really, really crazy. So it's not going to get just that much more better. Now, if you have part slashing in your build, like I said, increasing your tendencies definitely can help. It definitely can help. But it's more of the question, is it worthwhile doing it that way? Now, if it was something easier to do, I'd be like, go for it, do it. You know what I mean? But is it really worth deleting your my player, contacting 2K support, having them copy your file over? You gotta pretty much send them a video of proof that your my player is gone, all this type of stuff, which does not take long, and they can do it, and they will give you your my player back if you deleted a my player or if your my player is missing. But I know that's extra for a lot of y'all. That's why I'm finna show y'all some gameplay right now. So the game is on pro as well, so the difficulty is not that hard. I know the park difficulty is not that difficult either to get dunks. Also, Zach LaVine also has 100% dunk tendency, flashy dunk tendency, so I increased his as well. Now, I'm pretty much to try to go to the basket and attack the rim with Ja Morant the whole game. Now, of course, depending on how you hold the analog and would not, that's going to dictate if you go for a dunk, a layup, a reverse, and all that type of stuff. So keep that in mind. Ja Morant and Zach LaVine both have like a 95 dunk, like 100% dunk tendencies, and Hall of Fame contact finisher and Hall of Fame finishing badges as well to go with it. And I'm not going to try to just go down the court and dunk on fast breaks, because obviously if you do that, it's going to be easy dunks. That's not what I'm talking about. What I know what y'all want to see is pretty much the contact dunks. You know what I mean? I know that's what y'all looking for. Y'all want to see, okay, somebody in the paint, is he going to be able to go down there and dunk on them all the time? That's pretty much what we want. This is what you want to see right there, those types of dunks. And as a slasher, you get plenty of those already. But I know y'all pretty much want to see, is it overpowered with 100 dunk tendency, flashy dunk tendency, go crazy. Now, I will tell y'all, tendency does make a difference. I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all, because on certain players on this game, it's certain players on here, I'm going to name a few. LeBron James, Giannis, Michael Jordan. They dunk tendencies. Michael Jordan dunk tendencies go absolutely crazy on here for some, especially the two-way slashing archetype 90-91 Bulls Michael Jordan. I believe that's the one. For a fact, he dunks a lot of the time on people. It's like no matter if people is there, he is taking off and dunking. Now, there might be other factors that affect your ability to dunk, maybe like height, weight, size, speed, all that type of things may play a factor as well, because I have noticed the taller you are in this game, the higher your takeoff range is. You know what I mean? So you can take off for a little bit further and get more dunks. So while Ja Morant is 6'3", maybe somebody like Giannis could take off, or LeBron could take off a little further than them. And what I mean by that, I'm going to give you a quick example. Let's say I got Michael Jordan, and I'm by the free throw line. I'm holding right trigger R2 on PS4, and I go for a dunk from the free throw line. Michael Jordan might actually attempt a dunk, whereas Ja Morant might just go for a layup, you know what I mean, if I'm driving to the basket. That's exactly what I mean. But y'all can see there, 8 points, sometimes he's going to attempt layups. He's not going to dunk the ball every single time, but a lot of the time, you know, some of that's my fault as well, because while I'm holding the analog, I'm trying to hit a flashy dunk too. Sometimes he just hits it reverse. And like I said, you also have other badges and other tendencies to do stuff. It's like some of the tendencies impact what you do. Now, if you could fully customize your tendencies, that might be a little bit different, because you might get customize your player to where that's the only one tendency that he's going to do, and that might actually work. Now, I'm not certain that that's how that would work, because like I said, it's a lot of factors that go into what your players can do. It's not just tendency, it's badges and attributes as well. Height, weight, speed, athleticism, all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? If you're holding RT, if you're not holding RT, no matter if you go to the basket, you're not going to dunk. You have to still be doing certain things to dunk. And how could I forget about takeover? That's a whole nother factor in determining if you're going to catch bodies, because that's pretty much what y'all want to do, is catch bodies. Now, of course, if you're a defender, you want to get steal tendencies and all that type of stuff. And then it's always good to have a good draw foul tendency if you go to the basket, just in case, you know, you get fouled and whatnot. But you can see there, Showtime, badge pops up, he's dunking. He does catch bodies. Of course he should, but that's kind of what I expect. Now, that might be what I expect, because that's what I'm accustomed to. You know what I mean? Maybe I've been on my player for so long that, you know, I'm just used to catching bodies. And when you got these contact finishing badges in a high dunk, I expect you to get posters. I expect you to get a lot of cool dunks. If you have Hall of Fame badges, that's what the point of the badges are. You know what I mean? You're supposed to almost be, if it's Hall of Fame badge, you're supposed to have Hall of Fame talent. Pretty much almost be unstoppable. You know what I mean? Now, a more curious thing to see would to be maybe to put it on his dunk tendency on 0 and max out everything dunking and see if he can still catch bodies, because that would pretty much prove, therefore, how much worth it could actually be. Now, of course, nobody's dunk tendency is going to be on 0. That's just crazy. But some of it, y'all's might be like on 50, 60, 70. And so putting it up like 20, 30 might not be that much, but it's still, like I said, I do believe that there is still a benefit, but that's not the question. The question is it worthwhile for you? Now, if you want to get the most out of your my player, and you want to be the best you can possibly be, and you don't mind deleting your my player and contacting 2K support and getting your my player back and then having better tendencies, just make sure you do it on the right player for whatever player you want. And let me know how that goes for you. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, you will get your my player back from 2K. Don't get me wrong. Like, your player's not going to be lost. You just got to have a good reason as to why your my player was gone or whatever. You can just say your file was corrupted or your player won't load or something like that. Because that's typically what I tell them, because it was true. Like, I wasn't trying to do no glitch or anything. It's just how it was. Now, your my career progress will be lost. You will have to re-equip your badges, your animations. You will have to unlock jump shot creator as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I want y'all to understand what y'all are getting into. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to do that, just go watch one of those videos I showed y'all at the beginning of the video, and then you can try that out and let me know how it goes for you. Now, if you feel like you don't need it, it's all good. Like I said, this ain't for everybody. Y'all know that. Not everybody takes the game that seriously where they feel like they got to have that much more of an advantage over everybody, to the point where they feel like they got to just have even, not only better attributes, not even all of the badges, but they got to have better tendencies. You know, at that point, like I said, that's probably for like a lot of comp players, a lot of maybe stage players, people who take the game super seriously. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't take the game that seriously. Y'all just want to play, hop on. Y'all still want to win. But at the same time, I know everybody want their advantage. I know everybody want to be like a demigod. Now, I don't really think it's going to make you like a demigod, like I said, unless you can fully configure all your tendencies. But you could try. But anyways, man, if y'all enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that sub button. Make sure to turn those notifications on. Until next time, man, Denski out.